Welcome back to another video. The noise you hear in the background is the furnace running. The air conditioner is on, so I'm sorry if that's bothersome to you. In an earlier video, I talked about how there can be inconsistency between classrooms in middle schools or high schools because you have different people teaching those classes, and the people who teach those classes are also the people who are grading the homework, the exams, the papers, the projects, and the semester exams. So people or teachers might have different standards, or they might grade differently. That could cause some disparities in student grades, right? And further, different teachers can weight their grade book differently. Like I could put 40% of my grade book is on homework, 30% is on tests, and 30% is on group projects or something, right? Or I could say it's all on tests, or I could say 90% of it's homework, 10% of it's tests, like whatever. Teachers have a lot of flexibility in determining how they weight different types of assignments and tests and projects and quizzes and all that stuff. So what's right and what's wrong? I mean, how do we have consistency in the grades we give to kids and the feedback we give to kids when it's like the wild, wild west, right? Everyone's doing their own thing. Now, someone might say, well, geez, Stephen, this is just high school, it really doesn't matter, your big test scores, on your ACT, your SAT, blah, 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 like that really is the separating factor. And that might be the case. And if that's true, then how do we better prepare students for those tests? I guess that would be another video. So I guess I want to make a general suggestion about how I think we can have more fair grading across different teachers within a school. And I think this would benefit the teachers and the students. So at the beginning of the semester, it was not uncommon to hear students say stuff like, oh, you don't want that teacher, he's really hard, or she's easy, or he's a pushover, or, because each teacher has their own reputation, right? And, kids would, want to get into certain classes because of the grade that they could expect, or they knew it wouldn't be a lot of work or whatever, okay? I guess when you're choosing a class, ideally all teachers would hold kids to the same set of standards. Like if you're in mathematics, you gotta learn these things, right? Or science, or language arts, or a music class, or a history class, whatever. Like we might have different personalities and different methods of presenting, and we might be able to engage the kids in different ways. And for that reason, you might want certain teachers. But in terms of how tough we are and how hard we grade, you would hope that there would be consistency across all of the teachers in that department, or else it would seem to be like a disservice to the kids, right? So how do we remedy this? Well, normally if I'm a teacher in my history class, I grade all the work for my class. Well, what if we have 7 teachers who are all teaching 12th grade history, okay? And what if, on our exams for each unit, or on our semester exam, what if the 7 teachers randomly grade the entire 12th grade history student body? So if we have 700 kids and we're 7 teachers, I randomly grade 100 tests. And then Joe, the other teacher, he grades another 100. And we pick them at random. So maybe they're all submitted into like some online platform where it's all typed so I can't tell handwriting and stuff. And I look at it, I give some comments, and then I put a grade on it, right? I mean, that would really level the playing field. That would force the teachers to have the same set of standards, to know what an A paper is, a B, a C, a D, and an F. And then the students would all feel like they were treated in the same way, right? So I don't think that's being done anywhere. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But that would really force the teachers to get on the same page, and that would, hopefully unify them around what exactly are we looking for. Because even within a department, and within, if there's 7 teachers teaching the same class, they might be emphasizing different things. And then, how do you have a comparable outcome? Now, maybe the goal is not a comparable outcome, but if it is, then it's kind of up for grabs. It's very difficult to have that when each teacher emphasizes certain things and they look for certain things that another teacher doesn't. Ideally, the learning objectives for 12th grade history should be the same, right? So whatever the project is or the test is, we're testing the same thing. So we as teachers need to get on board with how we are assessing that. We need to assess in the same way. And a great way to do that is to randomly grade students across all the sections, so that my kids are graded by other teachers and I'm grading other kids, including my own. I don't know whose I'm grading, so I have to be consistent. I have to be fair. So that's my big idea about how grading can be more fair for students and more honest for teachers. That way a teacher cannot be like, oh, shoot, this is, Susie's paper and her mom's really been on me, so I better kind of give her some more points than she actually deserves, or else I'm going to get pushback, right? That happens, folks. That happens. If a student's a real thorn in your side, or someone's really been working hard, you might be more sympathetic, or you might, give them more points than they deserve. Or if some kid's kind of an a-hole, you might be like, well, you know what? You didn't study, you were a jerk all year, you took my class for granted, I'm going to mark you down. It happens. It's real, okay? No teacher likes grading. I heard many teachers say it's the worst part of the job. Being a teacher is fun, but the grading is just like, oh my gosh. But this might make it a little more objective. So that's my big idea for how we can be more authentic in our grading and serve the students better. And I guess I want to end this video with a story. So I used to teach a class of juniors, and for the sake of the example, let's just say I taught English. And I had a kid in the class, and I'm just going to make up a name. Let's say his name was, Tom. And Tom sat in the front row, and Tom was a really kind of happy-go-lucky guy, funny, always had a smile on his face, cracking jokes, liked life, liked living, wasn't an A student, but was honestly enjoyable to have in the class. And we could, friendly, we could joke, it was a pleasure. So Tom was talking about the president of the school once in class, and he goes, yeah, Mr. C, well, even when, let's say the president's name was, President Bob. He goes, yeah, Mr. C, even when President Bob burns you, it kind of still feels good. Okay? His words. Okay? It still feels good when the president burns you, or serves you up, or corrects you. Right? Why? Right? Because the feedback that Tom gets from President Bob is authentic, it's honest, it's real, and Tom knows that Father Bob's just trying to help him, and he's not BSing him at all. Alright? So it's like if you're a tennis player, and as you're playing tennis, Roger Federer walks by, or Pete Sampras, or Serena or Venus Williams, and they make a comment on your play. Even if it's a diss on your play, you're going to listen to them because they're phenomenal tennis players and they know the game and they know the strategy and they know it really well. So even like any sort of attention from someone of that level, it's like, ooh, thank you so much. Even if it's criticism, because it's meant to help you grow. So when we do this method of grading, where I'm grading random kids that I don't even know who they are, and the kid doesn't even know who's grading their paper. It's just random. I might give more authentic feedback to the student that their normal teacher wouldn't give them because they don't want to deal with it or put up with it, or it's too much work, right? So again, a service both to the kids and to the parents. That's all I want to say about that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.